Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down something called the Pentagon Method. It's this really powerful framework that does more than just, organize your warehouse. It can actually turn it from a simple cost center into your company's secret strategic weapon.
So let's kick things off with this great little parable about opportunity. In the super fast-paced world of logistics, every single shipment, every new piece of tech, well, that's a saddled horse. And really, the difference between leading the pack and getting left behind is having a system that's ready to jump on those opportunities before they just gallop on by.
Okay, so before we get into the nuts and bolts of the method, let's just ask a really basic question. What's the actual goal of your logistics operation? I'll give you a hint. It's not just about moving boxes from point A to point B. It's about delivering on a promise.
And that promise, it really all boils down to one core idea: service level. Now, this isn't just some internal metric you track on a spreadsheet. It's the final score. It's how your customer judges your entire logistics system. It's the promise you make, and this is the important part, the promise you actually keep.
And it's really important to draw a line here. Service level isn't exactly the same thing as overall customer satisfaction. It's the foundation of it. Think of it like this. Service level is the measurable stuff. Did the package show up on time? Was it the right thing? Customer satisfaction is that broader, good feeling you get when a company consistently nails that performance time after time.
So how does logistics actually create value? Well, it's pretty simple, really. It conquers the two oldest problems in business: time and space. When a product is exactly where a customer needs it, exactly when they need it, you're not just moving an object, you're making that object fundamentally more valuable.
Okay, but here's the thing. Achieving a really high service level and doing it consistently, that's a huge challenge. It's one thing to promise the world, but actually delivering on that promise efficiently, that's where most operations really start to struggle.
And that brings us to the million-dollar question, right? How in the world do you deliver that amazing, super reliable service without your costs just spiraling out of control? Because let's be honest, getting one right without the other is just a fast track to failure.
And this is exactly where the Pentagon Method comes into play. It was developed by a logistics expert named Fabio Garcia, and it's basically a structured, holistic framework designed to solve this exact puzzle: how to optimize every single piece of a modern warehouse for both top-notch service and killer efficiency. And the impact of taking a structured approach like this, it's staggering. I mean, research from MIT found that companies that put these kinds of integrated frameworks into practice can boost their operational efficiency by up to 40%. 40! That's not just a tiny improvement, that's a complete transformation of your output. And it's not just about being faster, it's about being smarter. That same research, it points to a potential 30% drop in errors. Now think about what that really means for a second. Fewer returns, way happier customers, and some serious savings on fixing mistakes you shouldn't have made in the first place.
All right, let's open up the playbook and see what this is all about. The Pentagon Method is built on 5 core pillars. You can think of them as 5 strategic fronts you absolutely have to command if you want to win the logistics game.
So the method is built on these 5 interconnected pillars, and the military-inspired names, they aren't just for show. They're meant to emphasize strategy, discipline, and precision. We've got values, the operations base, the arsenal, the elite troop, and finally, the mission. Let's break each on down real quick.
First up is Valores, or values. Now, this isn't some motivational poster on the break room wall. This is the strategic mindset that guides every single decision. It's the operational DNA of your warehouse, a deep commitment to things like efficiency, sustainability, and really embracing new tech like AI. It shapes every choice your team makes every single day.
Next up, we have the base de Operações, your operations base. This is your physical and technological foundation. We're talking about everything from the strategic location of the warehouse itself to modern gear like automated guided vehicles. You'll hear those called AGVs. And of course, the critical warehouse management software, or WMS, that acts as the digital brain for the entire operation.
Pillar 3 is the arsenal, and that's all about your inventory. But again, it's not just about what you've got sitting on the shelves. It's about the strategy for how you manage it. This means using smart methods like FIFO, that's first in, first out, which is crucial for products with an expiration date. It means doing an ABC analysis to prioritize your most valuable items, and using strategic slotting to make sure your best sellers are always the easiest and quickest to grab.
The fourth pillar, the Tropa de Elite, or elite troop, focuses on what is almost always your most valuable asset, your people.
Investing in things like continuous training, safety, and just general well-being isn't just an expense, it's a direct driver of performance. I mean, studies show it can boost productivity by 20% and slash employee turnover by up to 30%. That's a huge return.
And finally, we have the Missão, or the mission. Think of this as the command and control center for the whole operation. This is where you use hard data and track your key performance indicators, your KPIs, to drive this culture of continuous improvement. It's what makes sure all those other pillars are perfectly aligned and always getting better.
Okay, that all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually take this from a cool strategic framework to something you can use step by step in a real-world warehouse? How do you put this thing to work?
Well, the very first step is diagnosis. You can't improve anything if you don't have an honest picture of where you are right now. A simple but super powerful SWOT analysis is the perfect tool for this. You just map out your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities out there, and the threats you're facing. That gives you your starting map.
And this is where that mission pillar really becomes tangible. This is where you translate those big, abstract goals into cold, hard numbers. When you have clear, data-driven KPIs like these, you can measure performance objectively. And you can hold everyone, from your own team to a third-party logistics partner, accountable to the exact same high standard. No guesswork.
You know, the Pentagon Method isn't just about optimizing your warehouse for the challenges you're facing today. It's really about building a resilient, adaptable framework that gets you ready for the warehouse of the future.
This timeline here shows a really critical evolution. Not too long ago, warehouses were just simple storage centers, big boxes to hold stuff. Then they transformed into these highly efficient hubs. But the next leap? It's even bigger. We're talking about transforming the warehouse into a strategic center that actively creates value for the customer.
And this future, it's being shaped by some incredibly powerful trends. We're talking about advanced robotics, AI that can predict what customers will want with spooky accuracy, a real commitment to sustainable green logistics, and even on-demand services happening right inside the warehouse, like 3D printing for some last-minute product customization. Wild stuff.
So, we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. By applying a strategic framework like the Pentagon Method, you really do have the power to completely redefine what your logistics can be. So the question is, are you going to let your warehouse just stay a line item on the expense sheet, a cost center, or are you going to transform it into your company's most powerful competitive advantage?